So after about a day or so of deliberation between most recent events and most recent topics in the news, my partner Chris and I decided that we were going to speak on the budget cuts by FEMA. And this is important in today's society, especially within the past couple months, as Hurricane Harvey hit Texas and Hurricane Irma hit the southern coast of Florida and moved on up, causing over several $100 billion worth of damage. But to get us started off, I wanted to tell you how FEMA came to be, when it came to be, and why it came to be. FEMA came from the mind of our former president, Jimmy Carter, back in April of 1979, and it was a way to provide relief for natural disasters such as hurricanes, floodings, earthquakes, and that sort of thing. Now, FEMA has helped, maybe sometimes a little bit late, with the relief for several natural disasters, including Hurricane Andrew back in 92 and other great flooding events. And they provided relief to rebuild highways, rebuild roads, rebuild homes, provide relief funding for several million of those who had lost their homes and lost pretty much their entire lives. So back in 2005, when Hurricane Katrina hit, they were given roughly I'd say about a $4 or $5 billion relief fund. But when we look at the end of Hurricane Katrina and we look at the amount of damages done, it was assessed to be over about $50 billion, that FEMA had to give up. And as of recent years, the budget is for the entire FEMA, it's usually around $60-70 billion, with about $4-5-6 billion going towards the relief funds. So the current budget right now for FEMA, the proposed budget for FEMA for the 2017, 2018 fiscal years is $70.4 billion. So the first hurricane to hit us, the first natural disaster to hit us within this most recent past couple months was Hurricane Harvey down in Texas. And the most recent one, which happened just about last week, was Hurricane Irma. Now, an organization can withstand not that much, and still be able to run effectively in providing disaster relief. I'd say just several years or so after the natural disaster hits, there are potential benefits to an increase in budget for FEMA. The most obvious one is more disaster relief, more preparing of high flood zones for flooding, preparation of more fault zones, i.e. California, Nevada area, for the earthquake disasters. The negative side to an increase in something like FEMA and natural disaster is that it could mean cuts in other several agencies, cuts in other several important areas that need addressing as well. It seems as though the potential budget cuts for this year are not looking good, and it could mean more than half of the damages that are assessed won't get touched or will be fallen by the wayside. And actually, within the past couple weeks, due to Hurricane Irma, we got an increase of about $7.4 billion in budget. But a lot of people say that that is not really going to help us out any, and we could need more than that. After Hurricane Harvey, the FEMA budget for natural disasters took a major hit. Within a couple days, it probably dropped about $1 billion or so, and that's just for stuff like providing immediate relief to the people, not necessarily making the changes in the roadways and in the other U.S. systems that could really help them out. Excuse me. And it's hopefully the government will see more that hopefully the government will see from the past disasters of Hurricane Harvey and Irma that they would allow more of a budget and more money to be increased when preparing for the natural disaster relief, because without that money, just about an entire state of Florida was wiped out, and a lot of the region of Texas was wiped out too, with no complete signs of recovery in the near future. So, government, I hope you are paying attention. Everybody, I hope you are paying attention to this. That's more of a plea for help to write to your local governments, write to your national governments, plead for more money. If our current president would like to make America great again, that is one step that he could take to ensuring that America is great again. And we need to all bond together. We need to all support each other and help each other in these reliefs. Again, this has been Anthony and Chris regarding the FEMA budget cuts in the past couple of years and the hopeful relief for them within the near future. Thanks for listening.